Hi, spiritual superstars. This is Necole, and the following is a short story by Joseph M. Marshall III. He is of the Lakota tribe, and these stories represent his grandfather's storytelling and profound, ageless wisdom that Joseph M. Marshall III shares with the rest of the universe. I pray that these stories give you the strength to keep going, the art of perseverance, as they give to me. In life, there is sadness as well as joy, losing as well as winning, falling as well as standing, hunger as well as plenty, badness as well as goodness. I do not say this to make you despair, but to teach you reality. Old Hawk rubbed his palms together as he always did when he had something important to say. It was a gesture Jeremy had known since childhood. Sometimes what had followed was cold, hard truth, and yet somehow there was also reassurance. Furthermore, though the old man did know more English than he would admit to, he always resorted to his native tongue whenever he wanted to leave a lasting impression on his grandson. And whenever he spoke in his native tongue, not only was there clarity, but eloquence as well. Old Hawk began to speak. Life wears two faces, and one is no less real than the other. If everything were the same all of the time, there would be no variety, no excitement, and no balance. There would be no black to offset white, no sunset to finish the day that began with sunrise, and no warmth to chase away the cold. But that which gives your journey balance throughout this life also brings difficulty. In the end, it also brings a gift we often do not see. Life is not all sadness, Old Hawk continued. Yet without sadness, we would not yearn for joy and strive to find it and treasure it when it comes. It is also a fact that neither sadness nor joy is with us constantly, and how often one or the other is part of our journey is not always within our control. We all want joy more than sadness, and rare is the person who wants sadness at all. I will be happy if I never know sadness ever again, said Jeremy. But then I know I'm not the first to wish that, and I won't be the last. Yes, all of us wish that at one time or another. We wish it because we know there will be sadness, replied the old man. In part, we acknowledge the reality of sadness, and in part, we reject it. The reality of the sun shining today does not eliminate the reality of gray skies and rain tomorrow. So the reality of joy will not eliminate the reality of sadness, concluded Jeremy. I think we all know that. A simple reality that we often forget, Old Hawk pointed out. Though one reality may obscure another, it cannot eliminate the other. Perhaps, in the end, the perspective we gain is that one reality defines another. Like losing makes us appreciate winning? Of course, said the old man. Without losing, what would be the worth of winning? Old Hawk smiled and pulled a bag of tobacco and packet of cigarette papers from his shirt pocket. Within a minute or two, he had finished rolling a cigarette made with the dried and crushed inner bark of a red willow. Very few people use the red willow bark anymore, or even knew of it. But that was the kind of person the old man was. Old Hawk knew about old things in old ways that others had long forgotten. He lit the cigarette, took a long pull, and slowly blew out smoke as his eyes narrowed and looked across the prairie. Extending a hand, he moved slowly, as if painting the horizon in broad strokes. When I was a young man, he said, the last wolf in this part of the country was hunted down and killed. The newcomers to this land brought their long-held fears of the wolf with them. The newcomers thought and still think that the wolf was successful because he loved to kill and was good at it. To them, he was evil and had to be killed. They did not realize that he failed more than he succeeded. He went hungry 8 or 9 times out of 10 because his prey got away. When he finally succeeded the 10th time, he satisfied his hunger. What others saw as a lust for killing was really perseverance. That was the secret of his success. He never quit. But the wolf couldn't quit because in his world, success meant survival for his family, and failure could lead to starvation and death, Jeremy interrupted. Failure doesn't always bring such a harsh penalty, for us, I mean. Old Hawk nodded thoughtfully. Yes, most of us would agree that there are few penalties for losing harsher than death. For us two-leggeds, losing isn't always so severe. However, losing can weaken our spirit and dampen our enthusiasm for putting forth effort. We would do well to follow the wolf's example and continue the pursuit of victory, no matter the number of failures. As the wolf learned long ago, of the many rewards for winning, 2 are most important. Victory obscures loss, and it replenishes the spirit. And so it goes. Old Hawk took a long pull on his cigarette before he snuffed it out beneath his heel. For several moments he stared out across the land, and just as the first nibbles of impatience began to bite at Jeremy, the old man turned to him once again. Without failing, how would you know when to stand? He asked. Without hunger, how would you learn to appreciate abundance? Without bad, how would you measure good? Without the finality of death, how would we appreciate life? The last question brought a stab of sadness to the young man, but he took a deep breath to stifle a sob and held back his tears. "Your father has left us," said Old Hawk gently, "because death came through the illness. If you must contemplate the circumstances of his death, then you must also remember how he lived. Difficult experiences, whether they are sadness, loss, hunger, poverty, illness, or death, rarely occur because you invited them into your life. But when life does place hardship in your path, it always offers a chance to learn strength. That is the unseen gift. It is not easy, I know, to think of this time and this sadness as a gift. But you can make it so by living through it one moment at a time, one day at a time. And at the end of those moments and those days, you will be stronger. That will be your gift. Old Hawk discreetly studied his grandson's face. In the young man's eyes, he saw spirit and turmoil. But there were also signs of a mind deep in thought. Patient as ever, the old man lapsed into silence. Finally, Jeremy sighed and spoke. "Grandpa," he said, "I know that denial is usually the first reaction in dealing with sadness and loss. I think I may be doing that." The old man nodded. "Well," he replied, "the bad will come whether we deny it or not. Good times, easy ways, happiness, and all the positive things we experience are only part of the reality. There is also the negative, the bad times, and difficulties. The fact is, the sun does not always shine. Gentle breezes can grow into tornadoes. Too much rain can lead to flood, and too much sunshine causes the drought. Life is life. It is what it is. It offers no certainties except that it will go on with or without you. The sun will rise and set every day. Though clouds obscure your perception and you do not see it coming up and going down, it will do so nonetheless. So do the seasons follow their unerring cycle, waiting for no one or nothing. The seasons turn into years and the years into ages, neither waiting nor caring if you join them, but never denying your choice to do so. They will go, and so must you, because your journey is waiting. And in your journey, you will learn reality and balance. Reality and balance, asked Jeremy. Yes. If there is truthfulness, then there are lies. There is generosity, and there is greed, said Jeremy. Old Hawk smiled. There is hate, he said, and there is love, Jeremy replied. There is war, and there is peace. There is despair and hope. There is grief, and there is comfort. There is defeat and victory. There is weariness and rest. There is death, and there is birth. Old Hawk nodded his approval. It is only natural for you to think and to wish, and sometimes even to pray, that the bad things do not happen in your life, he said. You must learn that the answers to those wishes and prayers have already been given to you before you wished and prayed. There is love to overcome hate. Generosity can diminish greed. Truthfulness can reveal the lies in the same way the wind dries the flood and rains in the drought. That is life. It is what it is. Jeremy looked past his grandfather at the vast prairies stretching to the horizon. He sighed and nodded. Dear loves, take a moment. Close your eyes and focus on centering your soul, balancing your energy, through each balance of breath. As you inhale, you infuse your lungs with life's force, prana. You are giving your vessel exactly what it needs at this very moment. And upon each exhale, though you may have been saddened by grief, loss of life, you are reborn. Through each cycle of beautiful breath, you are strengthening your resolve and harmonizing with Mother Earth, the universe, the Most High, your ancestral guides, all of the messengers of God. You are grounding yourself, bringing yourself back to the very essence in which you were created. Love, unconditional, the highest form of energy. And at the close of your meditation, you will have engaged the balance Perseverance is yours. Keep going. You will not stop. You will keep going to reach your dreams. That vision you have at this very moment is through your perseverance, the balance, through falling and standing, success. As you feel your shoulders drop, the weight of doubt has been lifted. Your body feels light and you are ready to soar. Your dreams await you. Embrace the art of perseverance.